I have a book haul for you. Yes, I just did one not too long ago, but like I said in my last video, I just had my birthday. I have a lot of books. Now, some of them I picked up while I was doing like a little birthday book shopping, but the others were gifts, not even really birthday gifts, just gifts from someone who was like, hey, you like those books? I have some for you. And, I'll talk about those when I get to them, but let's just dive right into everything I picked up and kind of why and what I'm going to do with them, because quite a few of them are upgrades, and I want to talk about that as well. This isn't an upgrade, more of a lateral move. I picked up a second copy of Pirate Freedom by Gene Wolfe. This is a first edition, first printing like the other one that I have. I'm going to keep whichever one's in better condition and then gift the other one just to someone who will read it with me. I also picked up Worlds Enough and Time by Joe Haldeman. This is a first edition, first printing to go with my first edition, first printings of the other two books in the series, which are Worlds and Worlds Apart. The only difference is this is a UK first edition, first printing, and those are US. And so this one's a little shorter and has different art, bizarre art. You have like the Statue of Liberty exploding or something. I don't really know what's going on there. I'm just happy I completed the series. I was looking at reviews of those books and it's not very good. I will say though, one of the reviews that had like the longest explanation of why they didn't like it, their entire premise was built on a misprint because they thought the book came out in the 50s, and all the comments are like, bro, he was 7 years old when you said he wrote this. And then he's like, well, in the above comment, you see that I said it was an errata, blah, blah, blah. But then I went back and read the review, and like, he's literally saying the problem with Joe Haldeman is when he wrote this in 1950, he was using his preconceived notions to tell the reader what the future was going to look like. And it's like, bro, your review's wrong. Anyways, I picked up John Jake's The Planet Wizard. This one does not have the crazy art I've seen for it, and I can't remember where I saw it. I'm going to assume that it was on a Pulp Mortem video. This one's pretty cool though. We've got like some Viking dude with no legs floating in what I assume is water, holding two bows without cords on them, or bowstrings. So I don't know. The premise is which would decide the fate of Galaxy 2, sorcery or science? What is Galaxy 2? So is this like a sequel to our Galaxy? This also has very bad reviews, but I'm going to read it because it is a very small book, and you got to read bad books sometimes because you might like them. And it also makes you realize what you like about books that are good. I never made a review for Hero's Journey, which I should, but I'd probably have to read it again to do that. But I really enjoyed it. It is one of the hidden gems in Appendix N, the collection of fiction that inspired Dungeons & Dragons. And it does a lot of heavy lifting for a book that a lot of people don't know about. And Hero Destine, which is the name of the main character in Hero's Journey, this is the bind up of the two books that were published by Sterling Lanier in the series. And so this has Hero's Journey, and then it has The Unforsaken Hero. And I haven't read The Unforsaken Hero, and it was never published in hardcover, so I can't get some fancy first edition, first printing to match my first edition, first printing of Hero's Journey. So I had to do the next best thing and pick up this science fiction book club edition that has both of them, because I would like to have a permanent copy of that book, and a paperback was not going to cut it for me. Maybe if I eventually get another copy of Hero's Journey in paperback, I'll get a matching Unforsaken Hero, but who knows. Also, this art is just something else, man. He's riding his animal companion Morse, which is a moose and a horse bred together, and he's got some silver dagger, and he's fighting like frog lizard men in the water. And yeah, that actually happens in Hero's Journey. It's very good post-apocalyptic like science fantasy. That's a bit of an upgrade just because, a paperback wasn't going to cut it, but what's a real upgrade is this first edition of Old Man's War by John Scalzi. I love this art. I didn't know it existed until I was making my Scalzi overview, and I really like this. This is an upgrade from my trade paperback that I've had since I read the book for the first time 15 years ago. I'm super excited to own this hardcover. Like, I really think that Old Man's War is one of the best military science fiction novels written in the last 50 years. To have a first edition just brings me nothing but joy, and I really love how clean it is. It's like immaculate. It seriously looks like it's never been read, which is sad for the previous owner, but great for me because I will be reading it again. I might do audio. I don't think I did audio for Old Man's War. So while I was birthday shopping, I stumbled upon all of the James Tiptree Jr. I will ever need. I found Her Smoke Rose Up Forever, which is a collection of all of her short stories, and it's by Arkham House. Super cool. The book's in really good shape. The dust jacket's all right. It's got some freaky art in it, and this collection has all of her award-winning short fiction along with pretty much everything else. So I was very excited to find that. Then I saw this, Up the Walls of the World, which is a standalone novel. So I was like, oh, cool. I mean, I'm going to pick that up why not? I'm already getting some other James Tiptree Jr., and I already had Brightness Falls from the Air, and I picked up at another place for very cheap The Starry Rift, which is a very small book that takes place in the same setting as Brightness Falls from the Air, but that's not all. I got an upgrade for Brightness Falls from the Air. I had a book club edition hardcover. I found a first edition first printing, and what makes this first edition first printing even more special, it is from the Dallas Public Library, which is pretty cool. You know how I like rescuing library books, but even better, it has a sticker inside it showing that it was one of the original sets of books that were in that branch of the Dallas Public Library. So the day that library opened, this was in there. It's super cool. I'm just really excited to have a very clean, very well taken care of copy. Yet again, it looks like it was never read, which is sad because it was a library book. Maybe it was just really taken care of. I'm going to tell myself that. Yeah, so I upgraded Brightness Falls from the Air, which the more I think about it, the more I like that book. And then I got Starry Rift and then the other stuff. My James Tiptree Jr. collection is very close to complete. There are some series that I may never read all of just because there's so many of them. And one of those is the Aubrey Maturin series by Patrick O'Brian. And this is Blue at the Mizzen, the 20th book in the series. It was the last one that was completed before Patrick O'Brian passed away. And this is a first edition, first printing, which is cool. I don't think I'll ever have a matching set, which is a bummer, but that's okay. This is one of those series that I would buy one as I read it until I have them all, or I just won't have them all, because having 20 of these staring at me is just a little much. I don't think I can handle that. I will be reading more of them. I've only read the first one. I really enjoyed it, so maybe I will get to one of them this year. Is there a booktube theme month that involves the sea or the oceans or sailing or anything like that? Let me know in the comments if there is, because I will make those books a priority during that month. Now, these books I got thanks to my last book haul, and that was from someone who was like, hey, you got Heliconia Spring. Well, I have a Heliconia Winter you can have to pair up with that, because this is a book club edition as well. And I told them I'm not going to say no to a book that helps me complete a collection. And they were like, hey, I saw you talking about them Star Wars books. Do you want some more? And yet again, I was like, well, why would I say no to free books? And I'm pretty excited because I got Star Trek 1, 2, and 3 by James Blish. These are novelizations of the screenplays for the original series, so I'm pretty hyped about that. And I got Star Trek The New Voyages, which is, I think, a collection of short fiction with a foreword by Gene Roddenberry and an introduction by the cast of Star Trek. Now, what's cool about this is I think this was published like after these were, and it says 8 original Star Trek stories never seen on the screen. So I think they were like hyping up that it's like, you don't know these stories. They've never been on television, which is cool. I also got Mud in Your Eye. This one seems very weird. And yet again, it's another original series book. And my problem with the original series is I am not invested enough in it yet to really be like, oh, wow, I can read novels. I got these as well. I got 1, 3, and 4 in Rihansu, which is interesting. These revolve around Kirk and Spock and interacting with Romulans. And the first one has a really interesting premise because a Romulan commander basically sees the downfall of their civilization and these terrible things they're trying to do to staunch the bleeding of their civilization, and they're like, this is not okay. And they team up with the one person they would never want to team up with, and that's Captain Kirk, in order to stop the Romulans from doing the thing they're doing. I was like, that is awesome. And book 2 is written by Melinda Snodgrass, which is interesting because she is the editor for Wildcards and has written some very good Wildcard stories. And so I would like to see what she does with other IP. I'm trying to become a big Star Trek fan. So a goblin appeared and blacked out my background lighting, because that's what goblins do. He's a goblin and a chaos mage. I've always wanted to be interested in Star Trek. It's just been something I've not taken the time to enjoy. And so I've really been trying to dive in. I'm watching TV shows, of course, collecting books now because people are giving them to me and I'm finding them for cheap. And I've actually had fun with them. Star Trek Log 1, which is based on the screenplays from the animated series, was fun. You know, it didn't really stand out, but I'm not going to knock it for that because it was Alan Dean Foster adapting screenplays. They're not going to absolutely crush it or anything, but they were fun. So there's a thrift store that I like to go to near my favorite bookstore, but I don't go there often because they don't cycle through books as quick as I would like. So I don't waste a lot of time there. But I went this time, and some of the books I've already shown are from there. And this one is An Past We Share by E.L. Ranelagh, The Near Eastern Ancestry of Western Folk Literature. What this is from like 1979. This is the first edition, first printing. And it is about them showing the reader how a lot of storytelling styles that Western civilization is known for actually came from the East. Or in the little blurb in the dust jacket, it says, Voltaire believed that tales as a genre were invented by the Arabs. Certainly a startling number of narratives regarded by the West as Western, indeed as proofs of Western civilization, came to us from the Near East, a fact known to scholars but not generally realized by the rest of us. That's what this book is about. Not only does it explain to the reader the origins of some of the tales, it has some of the tales in this book. This is one of those reads that I'm like, I really want to get to this. I don't know when I will, but I think this is one of those things that will make me a better reader, and also it's some good history of storytelling. Sorry it's so pitch black in here. I'm filming at a different time because I wanted to get this out so that I could get these books off my desk. Speaking of history, I pick up The Power Broker by Robert A. Caro. It is about Robert Moses and the fall of New York. Now, I have heard that this is infuriating and very well written. He won the Pulitzer for it. It is a biography of Robert Moses, who was essentially the king of New York for a very long time. He is why New York is the way it is now. The interstate system, public transit, old buildings getting torn down. It was his way or the highway that he had built through neighborhoods that he didn't like. And I can't wait to read it. Robert A. Caro is well known for his biography of Lyndon Johnson. It's in 3 books, and I want to read that as well. I don't know if I'll do The Power Broker first or not, but I'm very glad that I picked up this very heavy, over 1,300 page floppy trade paperback. Look at that. This is going to be good. I probably should have put that on my 40 before 40. Speaking of which, let me know in the comments if I should make a sequel to my 40 before 40 where I revise that list, because some of the things on there I don't want to read anymore, and other things I DNF'd, so maybe I'll do that. These next 2 are books that were supposed to be in the last book haul, and I forgot them. They had stickers on them. I had them on my art desk in order to clean all the sticky crap off, and then I forgot them. The first one is The Wheel of Time Companion, the people, places, and history of the best-selling series, and this is just essentially a glossary, and you know, that's fine, because I will probably use this as I'm going through the series or the 4th time. I also picked up Dan Jones' Essex Dogs. I've wanted to read his historical fiction. I've listened to a ton of podcasts with him. I have read snippets of his nonfiction, and I hear that his fiction is good. So I hope that that is true. I picked this up for next to nothing. By the way, if you have an Ollie's near your house, like the discount store, they've always got some good books. And now that the Wheel of Time show has been canceled, Amazon liquidated a lot of their stock of Wheel of Time books, and so they are at Ollie's. That's where I got this. They had box sets for the first like 6 books in the series, which I didn't need, but they were there and they were cheap. And so keep that in mind if you see an Ollie's. So I talked about in my wrap up, I read Ghost Rider, and the book is amazing. And I did not own a physical copy, but I wanted one because there's so many little things in here I want to reread. And since I did audio, I can't really jump around to get to the little snippets I want. So I am very happy I got this. I've already flipped through this, and I will be flipping through it again because the book's good. Okay, I kind of saved the best for last. Now, I freaked out a little when I first saw it because I thought it was a first edition. It is not. It is a book club edition that is identical to the first edition, and that is The Guns of August by Barbara W. Tuchman. I've wanted to read this for a long time. I was looking at a ratty trade paperback not too long ago and thought, I'll wait. And then I found this bad boy. Beautiful hardcover in really good shape. So this will be fun. The Guns of August is a book about the month before the start of World War I. All of the events that built up to that war popping off when France stopped the German invasion in the West. So I love reading about World War I. It's one of my favorite points in history because it created such a drastic change in the world. I know a lot of people are like, really? Another person obsessed with war history when there's so much other history? But this is the cherry on top of the thing I really enjoy, which is the Gilded Age and the Progressive Era. So this is kind of what killed it, and that is why I like reading about World War I, because it massacred my boy. I don't have any more books to talk about. That's my haul. It's ginormous. I know. I am surprised that I put up the last haul on my shelves. So these are going to be a struggle. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these. Have you picked up any books lately? What are they? Let me know. Thanks for watching. And with that, I'll see you next time.